Welcome. Today we're talking with Nick Hayes. He is a partner in the credit union practice at Smith and Wilkinson, an industry-leading provider of executive coaching, succession planning, and executive search for credit unions and credit union service organizations. Nick, welcome, and thank you for joining us at Credit Union Digest.
Hi, Larry. It's good to see you. Appreciate you having me on this afternoon.
Great. All right. Well, thank you. So, Nick, you on a regular basis are talking with credit union presidents and CEOs. What are the big themes you take away from those conversations?
Well, we're looking forward to moving past COVID, we hope. We're obviously facing a hiring pressure like we've never seen in this industry, and it's coming from areas I don't think we ever imagined could happen, including movement and compensation and level. I think everyone's keeping an eye on the economy right now. Obviously, we've got some perhaps turbulent times ahead of us over the next, we'll call it, few years coming. And, the most fascinating thing that's come out of the last few years for sure is boards are changing. I think we're at an interesting time where the NCUA is putting more pressure on the boards, president are putting more pressure on the boards are putting more pressure on each other to be, members of these credit unions and really fulfill what they have been hired to do in these volunteer positions.
Great. Thank you. You talk about the board and the change, and CEOs are asking more from their board members. So can you give us a little more insight as to, what's behind these changes? Why are they occurring now?
Yeah, I think if you think about the long-term membership of a credit union. So we look at what our average age of member is, and there's been a few studies done that I don't want to quote in this that have said, well, our average age of membership looks very much like our average board member. That is there and present. And so if you think of how a lot of members don't know if they can join a credit union, boards are the same way. A lot of them came through ad postings or worked at the plant with someone for 30 years. And there's never been a proactive way to say that this is a role that is important to a credit union. And I think CEOs that are entering into their first CEO seats in 2022 and beyond are realizing that they want to hold their board accountable as their board holds them. And that includes and is not limited to being prepared for board meetings, asking good questions, participating and being really servants of these credit unions. It's fascinating because I think CEOs these days are asking board members to really insert themselves into a world that they are not professionally involved in 100% of the time. And it's providing some really unique benefits on both sides.
Right. Great insights. Thank you, Nick. So given that, what are the attributes or experiences that credit union CEOs are looking for when they're prospecting for new board members?
Yeah, that's a great question, Larry. I think that for a long time, the thought of actually going out and being proactive about a volunteer role was a lot for credit unions to understand and to manage. And I certainly have had my own credit union clients be curious about this line of business for many years, but not actually come to me to do it until the past 36 months. And we've done about 17 of these roles. And for what we've seen, it's a unique combination of like consistent curiosity, the willingness to be involved, the willingness to take time on a volunteer standpoint and read industry publications and go to industry events and be kind of challengers of what the credit union is doing. We are after people who answer and ask as many questions as possible about what is happening internally at the credit union. And we've seen CEOs seek different things if they feel as though their credit union is perhaps a little bit stagnant in their marketing approach. A CEO has a very unique ability to go out and hire a very heavy chief marketing officer from another institution to become a board member and really provide that insight. I think what is further fascinating about this is what we've learned from the recruiting side is that these are positions that volunteers want to do. It's been an incredibly well-received phone call to call someone and say, hey, we are a credit union recruiting firm. They're looking for A+ board members for a growing institution. These volunteer roles can be sold and are not just drags on people's time. There are people legitimately interested in serving in some of these positions.
Great, great. That's a great reflection that people in the community, when asked, are very willing to step forward to these positions. So, Nick, thank you for sharing your perspectives with Credit Union Digest today. Your comments reinforce the important role of the credit union's board of directors in both strategic plans and overall succession planning. So, thank you.
Thank you for having me, Larry. I appreciate it.
Good. Okay. So in closing, thank you for joining Credit Union Digest. If you have additional questions for Nick, please see the link in his bio.